Hello everyone, this is a Through the Ages playthrough of a tournament game I've played recently. This is the third place match of the entire championship bracket. Unfortunately, due to a technical issue, the first two turns didn't record. The audio was too choppy and the video was a static screen. So this is just a quick intro to the first two turns. On turn 0, I don't quite remember the entire center row, but the important parts were the engineering genius for 1 and a bunch of leaders for 2. My opponent, Maciej, playing red, was first and took engineering genius, and then I'm left to pick from what's there. Looking at just the leaders at the moment, and there are no particularly amazing leaders in HA. The best from this list is possibly Hippocrates, but Alexander's always good. Unfortunately, he's not at the row. The Homer is sometimes good. Boudica can be quite good in 2 players, but she sits right next to Sun Tzu. And so if we pick the Boudica, she gets very easily countered by Maciej taking Sun Tzu. Another important part of this row is that Library of Alexandria sits at 3 actions right now, but is guaranteed to drop to 2 actions after this round. And so the first player will quite certainly pick that and start with Library and Engineering Genius, which is quite strong. Pyramids is not in the row. We can hope that it shows up, but given that we will reveal at most 4 new cards, that's not that likely. So, as I described, Boudica and Sun Tzu right next to each other mean that Boudica is basically unpickable, so our real choices here are either Hippocrates plus Urban Grove or Sun Tzu. I've decided to go with Sun Tzu because if we take Hippocrates, Maciej gets to pick Boudica and is basically guaranteed to get the desired benefit from it basically every turn, being both the first player and knowing that our leader doesn't give us any military advantage. So that's basically it. That's what we do in turn 0. We take Sun Tzu and pass the turn. In general, this is the first time I'm putting together a video like this, so some of the cuts are going to be a bit awkward. Sorry about that. Leave any feedback in the comments if you like. Looking at all the leaders for all the ages, we already talked about HA, so age 1, Zizka is probably the strongest H1 leader in the game, so that's always a highlight. Joan of Arc is always quite good. Columbus, optionally, if we draw the West territory, can be nice. Saladin is reasonable. I used to really like him, but I feel like in 2-player he gets pressured too easily, and if you have to use him for 2 strength, he's not a great leader at all. In terms of wonders, the Himeji Castle is good, gets you some culture early. Great Wall can really help with military. Basilica is obviously quite good, however vulnerable to the H2 event if you have no HA wonder. In H2, I always look for Bach, and since he's not in this game, and neither is Marlena, we're probably not going to be going for drama. Nobel is great. Katrine can be quite good as well. Newton is sometimes good. Shakespeare is maybe worth keeping in mind, but it's really difficult to make him work in a 2-player game if your opponent is building any military at all. In terms of wonders, the Louvre is a lot of points. Harvard helps with science. Statue of Liberty can sometimes be good if you're starved on yellow tokens. H3, no no leaders that particularly change the playstyle. So as we already said, no Marlene, no that arenas guy that gives you lots of culture. There is Einstein and Sid Meier making computers more appealing. Also worth noting, the wonders in H3 are somewhat peculiar. There aren't any of the like easy to score wonders like the space project. The International Red Cross means that having extra food can be quite nice. Empire State Building sometimes works. Hollywood and Shakespeare are a combo, but again, one that you really have to watch out when you go to, so that you don't get crushed militarily. So that probably does it for the leader summary. There are no really strong synergies that I can see, and so every age can be played somewhat standalone. Turn 1 didn't actually record properly, so here's a quick review. Red grabs the library for 2, grabs Homer, builds a mine. It's kind of what we expected. Homer is maybe slightly surprising, but he will be able to upgrade the library, which will be quite nice. This left us with building a mine, increasing pop, electing Sensu, and grabbing an airborne grove for 1. The Himaji Castle and Yanchishka dropped very early, so the sort of things that we're looking up to pick up. We have the Fighting Band, which, when improved by Sensu, will be a very nice tactic to play with Yanchishka. There's also an early Iron, so a bunch of things that we might want. But let's see what happens next. Takes Siska for free, passes the turn. Okay. That's fine. We still want Joanne and Saladin. And he has enough to finish the library next round anyway. So we should definitely seed. Yes, we can take the warrior. Or can we? That feels a little awkward because we would like to build the lab today, this round. Grab iron and the castle. This gives engineer genius for 2. Slot 8, so it might actually come back to us. Gives monarchy and swordman for 1. Not too concerned about alchemy. There is Great Wall, which we could aim for instead of the castle, letting us take a rich land, but I don't know if that's worth it. It's a bit annoying that it leaves us without a free pop. So if he seeds, he might miss on the free temple. Huh. Maybe we should not have played the event. What are the other options? We could take monarchy instead of iron, but I'm pretty sure iron's better. So now we could take Richland instead of the castle, or we could increase pop. And I think taking the castle is probably the best out of all these options. And should we play this tactic? Not really. I think we're hoping to get 2 knights. Okay, let's just do this. I'm not gonna need the aggression. There's knights, code of laws. This engineering genius we would quite like. Alright. Maciej increases his population, takes alchemy, elects Homer, builds a lab. So not finishing the library. So presumably he's gonna finish library next round, which will give him the 6 tokens. I have 2 extra, right? 1, 2, 3, no, 3 extra. So we probably can't make him corrupt. Oh, he's gonna use the genius there. So it gives him 4 tokens, bringing him just barely out of corruption. So if we seed here, if it's religion, we both miss on it. He doesn't really need it though, so I guess that's worse for me. But I think we seed anyway. Okay. Not great. Can do this, and build 1 stage. Maybe take reserves. So this way, I think it's knights for 1, but he needs 3 actions here already. Then if he wants to improve, and I just kind of improved, and that's his turn. He could spend these 3 actions, take knights, and then we get Code of Laws and Saladin, which seems reasonable. Because if we play this, he might be tempted not to take the knights. Yep, this seems like the time to... So I guess there's a question of whether we want to take irrigation over the reserves. And with the reserves we can finish the wonder, increase pop. Actually we probably just want to build an iron. Build an iron, play reserves, finish the wonder. But we do want to pick up the knights. So maybe we delay iron by 1 turn. That doesn't seem correct. But in any case, I don't think we really need this irrigation right now. Okay. Don't want this, don't want the aggression. we'll keep the knowledge, I suppose. We do not find the army. There's Joanne and Columbus, but we're probably still going to go for Saladin. Theocracy and Joanne being close to each other might tempt us away, or we'll see what happens. It reveals development of religion, which he cannot use, finishes the library, takes the knight, and he has phalanx. So we will have library. He can grab the phalanx right now, and that's quite good for him. So I don't think we want the border of the ancients. I don't think we want this. So I guess we can just see crusades, because if we do that, then we don't have to play reserves to finish the thing and get an iron. Let's see. Civil life. We will take our temple. We will develop iron. Upgrade once. The question is whether we want to take Saladin here. I don't think I want to elect him, because this is not the tactic we were hoping for. On the other hand, he does have knights already, and so maybe we should stick with this. So, are there swordsmen still? There's one swordman. The other option is to go with Joanne, which will come back. So we could grab theocracy here. Struggling a bit with science. Go Joanne, elect her, grab theocracy. We will, no, that doesn't, we will corrupt. Thinking whether we can revolt in theocracy next turn. And to do that, we're basically one action short. Yeah. There's no reason to grab Joanne here. If we can't revolt anyway, we can just do this next turn. Questions, do we have a better action? We could finish the wonder with reserves. And look to revolt one turn later. That is so slow though. What is he gonna do? He's gonna research knights, increase pop, build a knight, elect Zizka. He'll have one army, so 5 more strength. He'll be at 7. If we have Joanne, and the castle would be at 4. 5, 6 with theocracy. I think we want to take this even though we actually no. Let's take theocracy. Let's caution on the wonder. And just take Joan next turn. Do we care about the drama? There's no Bach. No Bach. No Marlene. Yeah, because I don't think we really care about the Saladin. We would be put under a lot of military pressure and then might end up having to just use him for 2 strength, which Joan will give us anyway. And we don't have the science to go colorless. So next turn I can increase pop, maybe build a mine. Oh, the rats are a problem. So if we did this. Okay, yeah, because we don't actually have to finish the wonder here. So this way we're safe from rats. We can actually improve 2 irons next round instead of finishing that. Or like if needed we can build a swordman. We can keep the border conflict, I think. Just in case he does not go into knights yet. Though by the time we see that he will be stronger. So actually no, let's toss the border conflict in 1 boat. And still no medieval army, so yeah, we're gonna grab these swordmen and just sit on an improved fighting band, which is still quite an efficient tactic. Red seeds an event, revealing rats, losing 4 food. Researchers alchemy upgrades the labs, takes reserves. And elects Zizka, researches knights. Yep. Oh, alchemy was with the civil life, that makes sense. Do we want to cede a territory? Let's see what our turn is. So defending this. This. Take breakthrough. And so next turn we'll be at exactly corruption. We can revolt and build a guy. We might not get the swordman. Is there any way we can take swordman here? It would cost us the breakthrough. If he takes swordman, you can probably just get the last knights and switch to his tactic, which is just as good as ours. And having this iron should be quite good. Giving out the breakthrough when we only produce 2 science per turn feels pretty bad. I guess the only question is, should we finish the wonder? instead of upgrading the last mine. So basically paying 1 rock for 2 culture and 2 strength. And possibly putting some pressure on him so that he can't see the events that he wants. So I guess I like this. We're playing 2 rock because next turn we're not gonna upgrade either. Well, actually we might not be revolting next turn if we get the swordman and irrigation back. Then we might just take those. Currently irrigation is going to be at 6, so if he wants that and it's the last one, he's gonna have to pay 2 actions for it. So he could take it, reserves, increase pop, build a knight. Don't really know. I don't want to cede the territories because I don't know if I'm gonna have the food production to rebuild units. Yeah. Let's just get our iron going. And then I think this means they want to see the raiders. I think odds are good. We're not going to be the strongest, especially if he takes a swordman. We're building up economy. We might be building up the economy too early. So I guess let's see this knowledge, even though it gives him a little bit more science. He already has his science production figured out. Nice. That was his event. We're gonna corrupt. So that's our gun. So we could do like this and have an extra pop next turn. And then take G1, take breakthrough, upgrade twice. Yeah, this seems reasonable. Just gives us a pop earlier. The remaining events are Dark Ages and Crusades. Dark Ages could cost us 1 science, which would be annoying. But there's nothing to be done about that. So, yeah, we're not gonna play an aggression. We're not going to cede the developed territory. It looks like a turn. We need to be ready for him. Oh, he's here. Okay. He reveals the Dark Ages, so we do lose the 1 science. Very annoying, because next turn he would have lost 2. Let's see what he does next. Bob builds a knight and takes the swordman and researches them, upgrading both. Okay, so we are under quite a bit of pressure and need to resolve it. There's no reason to reveal the Crusades. So right now the knights are coming back to us. We're definitely finishing the wonder. And should probably take the irrigation. Build this, putting us at 7. And this is going to finish the age. He's gonna have one more pop. So we could grab the urban growth and increase population. Next round, this allows us to build another religion. So we would build the region, take knights, research it. We're not gonna have a pop to do knights with. So what if we took knights now instead of irrigation and urban growth? Then next turn we can revolt the theocracy. Because the problem is if he builds. However, he doesn't have the pop for the second knight right now. The extra pop from Hammer that he didn't have to build religion with is quite helpful for him right now. He could also just grab Basilica. We can't really put this iron at 6 in any way, so he is going to get it if he wants it, but it will be very late. What's the other play? What if we took knights now? Putting us at 8, but we have no irrigation, and yeah, it's just irrigation, so we can just do this next turn if we need to. Oh, but we wouldn't have the warrior. What if we took irrigation frugality? Does it give us another pop? Gonna be at 4, 5, 6. It is 7 to get it, so that doesn't quite work. Yeah, I think we just accept that we're going to be weaker, but we can start building up some culture. And at some point maybe we can take down because next turn we can get irrigation, start food going again, and then we can get the next pop. Okay. So is rebellion relevant? It could be. Yep. We know there's crusade and knowledge. Oh, cavalryman, very early. And I guess Harvard College would be quite good for us. And he doesn't really have the rocks to go for it. Alright, let's see what happens. Maciej plays an event revealing Crusades, gets 4 culture, takes the Basilica and Iron. Joan shows Reign of Terror. So obviously we're not playing anything. And what do we do now? We could take Theocracy. And just snipe the selective breeding. Build a single warrior. This leaves him with no food production, which is probably pretty important. And maybe the Harvard College will come back. It should. And we could just take it next turn. We're going to be very starved on civil actions for a while. One of the cavalrymen will come back, so we don't need this knights. It feels a bit risky, like he could push for military. He's gonna get a happy pace from the Basilica. He's gonna get 2. So he will have 1 more pop. Build knight. Get 5 more strength. But this gives me 2 more turns before, or like 1 more turn before the Reign of Terror is triggered. Then we can do selective breeding, upgrade it, grab cavalryman. We're gonna lose the pop, lose the warrior. We want to have science to research the cavalryman. So that's awkward. But I don't really think there's another play. Because we really want the selective breeding. Because the other option is we could, if we don't revolt into Theocracy, we eat the Reign of Terror right now. Yeah, this has to be the play. Can maybe get the science through Harvard College. Fortifications are interesting. We could skip the cavalryman and wait for the cannons. It is a bunch more turns where we are rather weak and vulnerable to aggressions or events. Okay, let's see what happens next. Develops and upgrades iron, destroys one mine, builds knights, grabs a rich land, putting them at 14 strength. Okay. So we really like this Harvard College to fix our science. I guess the scientific method is right here. So if we look at this, oh, we can't get it this turn. So I think our choice now is we can either get selective breeding, in which case after the Reign of Terror we're going to be ready to get our pop back, or we could get Cavalrymen, work on the Wonder. Then when we lose the pop we can... oh, I guess I disconnected. Red develops iron, upgrades once, destroys a mine to build a knight, and takes rich land. Put him at 14 strength. I think we always grab the Harvard College. It fixes our science almost immediately. And then when the Reign of Terror triggers, if we take Cavalrymen, we could destroy a lab, research Cavalrymen, move a warrior to Cavalrymen, giving us 2 more strength, and grab this thing for 1 more strength, so we will be at 13, which is still not stronger. The other option is to grab selective breeding and upgrade, which means when we lose a warrior we can rebuild it immediately while finishing the college. Or honestly, like, there's probably even no point rebuilding the warrior. We can build a build anything else really. How do we look for leaders? There's Noble and Catherine, maybe Newton. What if he gets the Cavalryman? Are we particularly concerned? Not really, so he's gonna upgrade a mine, probably grab an efficient upgrade, grab a reserves, or like increase pop. So each 2 events. So we would finish the Wonder, increase pop, pass the turn, hope to find cavalry, but we would only have 5 science. Maybe we have to wait on the selective breeding. Wait, no, we do this. We build the wonder next round. We go up to 7 science the round after. So if we find cannons, we can get them. This corruption is annoying, but I don't think we can get out of it. Not if we want to grab the Harvard College, which we certainly do. So yeah, 2 turns of being the weakest. Well, nothing to be done really. Did we see uncertain borders? We did not, so it's probably in there. Or call to arms would be quite bad as well. Well, we know it's not coming next turn. But could be the turn after. If we don't take the Harvard College, we would have to take the scientific method, which delays our science even more. Yeah, I think this is it. Yep, we will face corruption. Let's toss the tactic anyway. Kinda makes me wish we grabbed the cavalrymen, but nah, let's just get the cannons. Right, Patriotism, Kremlin cannon. We might not get to have this cannon if we build the wonder. It's gonna be here. Well, maybe he'll have to pay 2 for it. In a case, let's see what happens. Maciej sees an event revealing Reign of Terror, takes efficient upgrade, upgrades the iron, builds a stage of the wonder, increases pulp. So basically as we expected. Joanne reveals vast territory. Oh, that's interesting. Obviously we don't want to seed, but we could try to make it more expensive for him. So I think we lose this warrior. Complete the wonder. Now we could either take the breakthrough or increase pop and maybe build a warrior. If we increase pop, we are down 1 food. Definitely don't want to take the reserves because we want the cannon to be at 2 for him. We could also just take Newton, but the scientific method is gonna fall off. And there's still Noble and Katrine, which we're happy to grab. I think we're in a reasonably good position. The vast territory is going to help him a lot because he's currently stuck at food. Effectively gives him 3 more population. So next round, if we get the cannon for 1, we would like to take cannon, research it, increase pop, build a cannon. And then we have 1 more civil action and 3 rocks. if we don't get cannon, then we should get the patriotism at least, which maybe will help. Though we're not really stuck on military actions. We want to keep this so we can defend. Yeah, this seems okay. Definitely don't need the aggression, don't need this. All the cavalry are gone. How about prosperity? It's probably better for him. We're not gonna be short on food. Really like to draw some boats here. We draw one. It's maybe fair enough. Huh, the Statue of Liberty is also here, which might be nice for him. Can he finish this? No. So get the cannon. I don't think we can stop him from getting it. Maybe we can. It is free actions for him even at the smallest thing, which should be very good. The yellow tokens I think would be quite good for red right now. Alright, let's see what he does. Red does not reveal the territory and instead decides to try and spy us. I think we are actually going to, let's see, if we did this. Do we want the Cold War or do we want the international agreement? I think the Cold War might be more interesting for us. Well, actually, this is the one that lets you. Interesting. I think we'll keep that. After switching to cannons, we should be pretty well set and hopefully to become stronger. And getting the extra civil actions when we only have 4 will definitely be valuable. Oh, I missed something. He took rifleman and patriotism. Nice. I didn't really expect to get this cannon, honestly. I thought I would have to wait for the second one. Let's see, can we put this cannon at 6? We have to take 1 card to do it. So the plan was do this, do this. So if we just increase pop and build a cannon, then we can take reserves. This means the cannon will come back to him. We could instead take this off, build a cannon. We're still at 9. Now we can take wave of nationalism. This seems better. Means that unfortunately we can't. Well, honestly, with wave of nationalism, we can't actually bid the cannon for the vast territory. Put it at least 5. Next turn we can increase pop twice, play wave, build 2 cannons, and play the tactic. Okay, I think this is the turn, and then so he gets cannon for 2, justice system for 1. Should we grab justice system instead of the wave of nationalism? And this is 6 units, there, like 6 rocks, without which we can't actually rebuild the cannon. So he grabs justice system. Both the governments are still in, so I think that's okay. Develops riflemen. grabs the cannon. Then like upgrades rifleman to get this thing, or he could just finish Basilica and grab either justice system or cannon. Yeah, this seems okay. Let's do it. More boats would still be nice. We do not find it. Oh, there's strategy and Nobel. Okay, let's see what happens next. Maciej sees the event, revealing the vast territory that we've seen before. So, I think the question is whether we want to keep this swordman or not, or if we can just send everything. If we send everything, we can increase pop twice, play Wave of Nationalism, build 2 cannons. There's going to be Noble and Strategy, which we will not be able to grab either. However, not sending the order doesn't really change anything there. We would still have to increase pop twice and build 2 cannons to catch up in military. So I think the answer is probably that we send everything. And he wins it with a bit of 6. Which I assume is like 2 cards and a knight. But we will find out. A knight and 3 cards actually, leaving him with 2 cards only. So we were possibly quite close to either winning this or making him send an extra unit. He takes the cannons, grabs and develops justice system, plays efficient upgrade, rebuilds the knight. So that turns on our Wave of Nationalism. Scientific breakthrough is coming up, and the next one is Knowledge of the Ancients. So we could consider seeding something. Let's see what happens. Reading this, increasing pop, building the cannon, switching the tactic. Now I think the strategy is more important than the bell, because I'm quite happy grabbing Catherine here. This is also the last scientific breakthrough. Ooh, but Joanne is going to go away. So what if we switched now? Grab Nobel, elect him. Oh, this cost us a military action, so let's not do that. Let's do crap. I'm tempted to just dismiss this warrior here. Grab the bell. We could just not play wave so that we get strategy as well. And this is good because it lets us take either Common or Republic. And we knew this is scientific breakthrough. Which, I mean, it's 2 extra science if we don't seed. The Wave of Nationalism is not going to be wasted anyway, so that's fine. This way he's gonna lose Zizka, So the question is, do we want to... I think I want to see the international agreement. Because we want it to come up reasonably early. So dismiss this warrior. Rebuild as a cannon. Grab strategy. Gonna have a lot of science, which is good. We really need a government. But other than that, quite happy. We're open for computers, which we could either go Meyer or Einstein with. The Red Cross is quite nice because we have the food for it. Chaplin's always an option. We can go. We have the science to go. Engineering into movies, or even architecture is still in the pool. So there's architecture, Republican, revolutionary idea, and frugality. We get 5 cards here. It would be best if we could actually trigger end of round here, but there's just no way. There's no way we can take 3 cards. Well, we'd have to go Maria Theresa, which is just dumb. So he has to pay 2 for Catherine or William, and Catherine doesn't even work that well for him. Yeah, I'm happy with this turn. Maciej takes and develops Constitutional Monarchy, finishes Basilica, takes Breakthrough. Which means he's gonna have Catherine, sure. We can cede Independence Declaration, which if it hits his vast territory will be very nice indeed. Get a bit of extra science. There's probably no way that we can not take Republic. And then we could go into team sports to fix our happiness. Build 1. And then that means we will not get architecture, but we probably have enough resource production to handle anyway. So what's our plan now? We have food advantage, resource advantage, and slightly more science. Really, we would like to start putting culture pressure. And put Red into the position where he has to either really commit for military, which we will match with our resource production quite easily, or have to keep up with culture. So this journalism seems a bit tempting. Is there anything that's optional here? This lets us, I guess, upgrade the food. but it means we wouldn't quite have actually, is there anything wrong with this? I guess immigration would be quite bad. Yeah, immigration would be bad. It doesn't really give us an extra pop anyway, because the next pop is going to be at 5. So I think I'm happy doing this. Oh, but we corrupt. Oh, I did not notice that. So maybe should go for this. We would match him exactly in the actions available. What leaders are there? Einstein and Meyer, conditional on getting computers. I think we're both quite interested in computers. Or we could go for movies with Chaplin. Wait, this corrupts too. Oh. So this. I mean, even if immigration is played, it's just 1 in 4. What else is there? Civil unrest would cost us 8 culture, which is quite relevant at this point. Okay, I think this just has to happen. And so next round we can get team sports and strategy, battle sports, maybe grab journalism if it comes back to us. I would assume that he has a tactic for these riflemen cannons. So we might, if he gets stronger, we can actually waive nationalism to build 2 cannons and a team sports and research strategy, which should really put us in a good position. And then for a wonder, if we get journalism, Hollywood is kind of interesting. Additional Red Cross is also really nice now that we're gonna have some food. Though not having architecture for it is obviously unfortunate. Okay, let's see what happens. We don't care about either of these territories. Okay, tactic is an improvement if we get modern infantry. I wonder if he's gonna grab Churchill here instead of going for Catherine. That would let him put a bit more military pressure. Red takes Churchill, elects him, researches the cannon, builds a cannon, grabs revolutionary idea. Does not play a tactic. It could be that he's looking for a war and has one in hand. Could be that he doesn't actually have one and might be copying our cannons later on. So I think we should definitely cede. We are stronger right now. The independence declaration would be a huge hit, and it's quite likely that he ceded some strength events. But actually first let's just see what we could do here. Because rocks. Einstein and computers. Which could be quite a bit of culture, especially with the Nobel Prize. But there are good odds that those are going to come back. Maybe not the computers. So if we do this and this and research strategy, last time we were thinking about this journalism. There's also maybe a consideration for the Red Cross. But I guess if we get Einstein in computers, that is probably more culture than the journalism. My concern with him grabbing Red Cross, not particularly. Turns out Hollywood wouldn't be that good. United Nations, also not great. Empire State Building, we would be winning a bunch of things, so maybe that's the idea. Though then I guess we would want the engineering genius if it comes back. So like this is the turn right now. And just build a cannon to get out of corruption. Seems fair enough. Computers without engineering or architecture are a bit expensive. It's gonna be 8, but we have 4 discount. So 4 to spend anything else. If we get stronger, we can play Wave of Nationalism. Okay. So let's cede the territory. Sorry about the noise. What if we went for computers right now? Then we corrupt. Yeah. I guess we could do it without the efficient upgrade. And increase pop. Okay, let's see what the event is. I think we generally know what we're taking, we just don't know what we're playing. Okay, a bunch of rocks. So I think I like the idea of keeping up the strength and developing strategy just to start drawing cards again. Now we can't take the efficient upgrade because we corrupt. So we could do this. Delay strategy 1 turn, which is, I guess, okay, because we are going to get Einstein. The other option is we could just not build this team sports. Maybe this is actually better. So this way. We can get out of corruption this way. So we are still stronger. We are drawing 3 cards, which is nice for the impacts. We are probably not gonna be stronger. Well, we either remain stronger, in which case we can hopefully draw a incident event, or we don't, in which case we can get team sports, build 2 more cannons with the wave of nationalism. Okay, this is a good turn. And the Einstein is gonna give us a lot of culture and science. Cool. I'm happy. Maciej develops rifleman using Churchill, upgrades twice, increases pop, takes air forces, builds a cannon, takes reserves, plays revolutionary idea. So this really looks to me like the H3 tactic might be coming. He could do that, or possibly the Napoleonic army. He's been keeping some of the H2 cards. So the Napoleonic army would give him 11 more strength, putting him with 30. The H3 one would give him 12, so 31. And the new air forces are around, so that's good. We do not want to cede because we are weaker right now. So we go with our plan of getting Einstein, team sports, building a team sports, getting 2 cannons, but it comes as 29. So it doesn't really feel like we can get declared on. And now we probably really should grab this military buildup. In fact, we could likely play it this turn. And maybe pass on electing Einstein to grab this engineering genius. Oh, but this way we corrupt. So we should probably play Wave of Nationalism instead. I'm gonna start over. Maciej uses Church to upgrade Rifleman twice, increase pop, takes air forces, builds a cannon, reserves, revolutionary idea. So we can basically expect Napoleonic army or the H3 tactic, the positional army, which would give him, first one would give him 14, so 11 more strength. The other one gives him 9 more strength, so put him at 30. But then with patriotism, he could research and build an airplane. We'd have to destroy one of the things though, or actually you can use the reserves for a prop, so that's fine. Which would give him either 12 more or 17 more. So that's either 26 or 25, basically around 45 strength is what we have to be prepared to defend using 2 turns. So obviously we're not ceding, we want the international agreement and independence declaration to work in our favor. Grabbing the military buildup seems obligatory, and then the question is whether we elect Einstein, which costs us an action but gives us 4 victory points. If he's about to pass in the civil service. But I guess it has to happen. Yeah, okay, so if we do not elect Einstein, we get to build this. No, wave of nationalism. Well, this using the military buildup would cause us to corrupt in here, and then we can use the engineering genius, take the engineering genius, which we are planning to use for the Empire State Building. So we're gonna have 20 science next turn to elect Einstein, research, air forces, maybe professional sports. So we get the Nobel Prize as well. We can build an air force with the airplane putting out as 41. We could probably destroy something to build a second air force, or grab the patriotism if it's going to be available. We could also keep an eye out for the modern infantry. There is really no way to grab the civil services there. We would have to, well, actually, let's revisit. What if we didn't go for team sports yet? Then we are not stronger. Yeah, that feels too risky. It feels good to have the extra civil actions, but I don't think it's available. So I did the same mistake again. Next we get 2 more pop, though one is going to be unhappy. We have military build-up if we have to, we have air forces, we can protect ourselves, and culture is actually pretty close. So that's slightly worrying, we're not actually building up much of a lead. However, we are ahead in production, and if we got this Empire State Building, that should be enough with culture advantage. So I think that's okay. Yeah. And next turn we're gonna elect Einstein. Impact of architecture could be pretty good for us. We're not going to need the modern army. And I don't think we're looking to declare war. Maciej grabs and develops fundamentalism, takes patriotism, plays patriotism. Sturgeon age on lab and knight, 2 knights. Builds Churchill, builds 2 riflemen, a cannon, takes positional army, plays reserves for rocks. So next turn he's going to have 12, 18, 21, which is enough to build 2 air forces and a cannon. So we're gonna have 2 full positional armies, which we will have to answer. So that's gonna be another 15 strength from the army, and then 2 airplanes. And each airplane will be 5 and 12, 17. So that's 34 plus 15, 49, putting him at 88. That is a lot. So you have the military actions to do that. He does. That's 1 war and 3 actions quite precisely. So now, should we play the impact? Okay, let's see what happens here. So we elect that guy. Take the air forces. Grease pop. Build 1 air force. Grab the modern infantry. This means next turn we have 4 military actions, 16 rocks. If we build this is tricky. We are actually quite low on rocks. If we don't take the infantry, so the idea behind infantry is if we could build 2 modern infantry and an airplane, which costs 21, and switch to this tactic, then we're actually pretty close to matching him in strength. Because we would have 2 full entrenchments, which is like 6, 11, 20, so that's 40, plus 2 airplanes for 10, plus 2 extra armies, that's just 68. Yeah, that's a bit troublesome. $78 if we get the if we sacrifice an airplane. Wait, he doesn't have the science. He doesn't have the science. Oh, he does. Shit, Churchill. Ooh. That's tough. Okay, so this way we have 8, 12, 20. Is 2 cannons, 1 airplane. For 21, putting us at 60. So even with reserves, we don't have enough to build 2 full entrenchments. We could count on another reserves dropping. What if we did not go for Noble this turn? To the air forces, reserves, maybe the professional sports. These give us 2 strength for 2 rocks, so that's pretty good value. Good. Definitely building this. This also opens us up to grabbing urban growth for strength. This is tough. Can probably just destroy this. And so next turn we get to build 10, 14, 22. Build 1 cannon, 2 airplanes. Each airplane is 10, so that's 20 and 8. 62. Hmm. 64 with a new professional sports. And sack an airplane for an extra 8. 72. Lose 16 points. Holy crap. Churchill is really doing a lot. I did not expect so much strength. least we don't have to be worried about this military theory in particular. Definitely. Well, actually, would international agreement be that bad? There are 4 cards dropping now. So this is going to be 9, 6, 3. He would probably not have time to to take advantage of it. What else is there? Just one event played by him. I think we want to get this going. Okay. That is actually unfortunate. Do we pay the science? Obviously not rocks. Could be the food. It doesn't actually do anything for us right now, because we're gonna be at exactly 10 for next round anyway. So we definitely wanted the reserves, definitely the air forces, definitely build this. Grabbing the professional sports, take down a lab. All right. We draw Impact of Culture, which we might get to play on the last turn. We'll see. So, as expected, we get declared war on. He destroys everything to get 2 airplanes and a cannon. Exactly. Wow, that was well calculated. We do find the reserves, so let's see what we can do. Let's do this for now. Always this. We might grab military theory. Always the military build-up. Always the other reserves. Huh. And this is 60. Not so good. And the big problem here is we are not finishing the age. So if he has another war, we are quite screwed. if we did not go to Einstein with the 4 less points, no. Well, actually could do $64. We lose the war by 18. We get declared on again. And we can just rebuild the cannon. Things spiraled out of control very, very quickly. I don't think we could have grabbed reserve last turn over. Sorry, grabbed the infantry. So as it stands, we are at 63, so 13 ahead. He takes 20, so we're 7 behind. If he has a second war, we lost, I think, is the takeaway here. There's no possibility he can take any cards here. Engineering genius was a mistake. We should keep the impact of culture for the last turn, in case he builds something else. Alright, this is just where we stand. I guess later we can look at what the mistakes were. Not gonna need this. Oh yes, we get to choose what to do with Himeji Castle for this war. And so if we sacrifice an airplane, we are basically saying we would have 10 less strength left over, so we lose to any aggression out of the box. If we had this, we have 56 versus 54. Actually, we lose to any aggression anyway. We cannot rebuild it next round unless he leaves us reserves, but he won't. Means that if he has another war, we're gonna lose it really, really badly. But we've already concluded that if he has a second war, we've lost, so we should not play around the second war. This way we lose by 16, which puts him at 63 and us at 47, which is maybe recoverable with impacts. If he has an aggression, it's not. Ooh, that is a lot of things he has to not have. Oh, it was 21. Ah, the 5 extra culture. Aye. Oh, we got infiltrated. Well, that's better than the other options, I suppose. means that there's no Nobel Prize. Impact of technology or impact of culture. We probably want to play both of them, so we play technology now and culture next round. Oh, is there any way we can grab more? Each tech is 4 points here. Can we build the movies? Not this turn, it doesn't seem so. If he drew another aggression. Well, honestly, there's nothing we can do about it. Does this, we have 32, this is 28, so the revolutionary idea might let us play multimedia if it drops. We are 40 points behind. That is probably infeasible. Well, nothing more to do. I don't think we need this urban growth. We can build a movie with next round rocks anyway. Alright, we get raided. Pop takes the urban growth, takes the multimedia. It's at 87. So let's see what we can do. Engineering movies. And taking down 3 things, we can win the impact of culture. This puts us 65, so we need like 20 points, which we might actually find. Alright. This has no effect on the last round, right? Yeah. Build the movies. Research the tanks. We know all the impacts, so it's just science, architecture, culture. There's nothing more we can build. We just kinda take down some guys. Alright. And let's see the final score. Impact of culture. Impact of architecture, so we're losing by 3 points. Okay, the technology gets us there. Oof. This was a close game. Ignore the notifications, they're only here because this is on the emulator. Though I don't actually think... go away. Oh, we are done. Let me find this game. I can't actually. Well, it was a good game though.